we are talking about Genshin mistakes. To be honest, even though I'm saying all of these are mistakes, play the game however you want to play it. And also, these are my personal mistakes that I wish I could go back in time and fix all that, tell myself, don't do that. I'm just gonna share my Genshin regrets today. I don't know how many Genshin mistakes or Genshin regrets I have, but we're just gonna go out off the top of my head and just wing it, I guess. For all the new players who just recently started playing Genshin, I hope this video was helpful. I'm just casually passing out some wisdom to ya, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. And for all the veteran players who could relate to my mistakes and my regrets, it's okay. We could be struggle buddies together. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's just a video game. This is what I tell myself every single day. Okay, let's just get on with it. So I thought about it, right? When I just started playing Genshin Impact, I just pretended that the weekly bosses never existed. Okay, so you know how you do your little Archon quest, you fight your weekly boss, and then the weekly boss unlocked, right? And so after I did the weekly boss the first time around, because it was quote unquote mandatory, I never bothered going back to do my weekly bosses. And to be honest, I do really heavily regret that because I didn't realize that the talent levels require weekly boss mats, and I didn't realize spending resin is important. I didn't care about my resin, nor did I care about my weekly claims. Yeah, so fast forward to today when I kind of cared about my weeklies and I kind of care about my talent levels. I really don't feel like I have enough. These boss mats, crowding characters, or talent levels are really expensive. You would think at first you're just leveling up the talents, whatever, but once you get to 7, 8, 9, 10, that gets really expensive. Yeah, so I would highly recommend to do weekly boss mats. I know I'm not the only person who never did the weekly boss mats because let's be honest, okay? First time doing Raiden, first time doing Ashtaha, low-key kind of scary. I don't want to remind myself of those scary moments in Genshin, so I just never bothered. But fast forward today, I just don't have enough things. So yeah. Second thing, not doing reputation, especially the leeway reputation, okay? For the longest time, I never bothered with my reputation because reputation is such a grind. The first year of me playing this game, I never did reputations. I'm trying to grind it out now, especially the leeway reputations are so important because of the condensed resin recipe. And the only reason I started grinding for reputation is because I had a friend who was like, oh, I'm gonna go condense my resin. And I'm like, what are you talking about condensing resin? So I never knew you could condense resin because I never did the reputation. And so every time I would go into a domain, I would just use regular resin and not use condensed resin. And I didn't know you could just, be more efficient with your domain runs and just use condensed resin. There's a lot of quality of life things that you can unlock through the reputation. If I were to go back to be a beginner player, an AR20 player, right? I would definitely grind down my reputation. Oh yeah, another thing, okay? So I definitely have characters I regret pulling. Genshin's kind of expensive game. The roles are really expensive if you spend money on this game. And back in the day, I'll just pull for whoever. I never really look into which character I'm pulling, what kind of comps they were good in, and if this character is a right fit for my account. I mean, granted, pull for whoever you find pretty and all, that's cool and fine and stuff like that. But I will pull for characters that are just on the banner because I can. I never bother saving Primo Gems. I don't bother saving Intertwined Fates. I just pull whenever I have pulls. The true gacha gamer in me. I now have characters that I don't even use, even though they're technically good characters. That's the epitome of wasting money. When you buy something and you don't use it and it's just sitting in storage and rotting. Honestly, if I save the Primo Gems and pull for characters I really wanted and love, I think I would get so much more satisfaction out of them instead of just pulling for characters just because they're on the banner. You know what I'm saying? Moving on, next one. Character talent levels. I think I kind of touched a little bit about character talent levels earlier when I talked about weekly bosses. But another thing about character talent levels is once I started really I guess using my resin, I just farm for artifacts because I love the RNG. I love the artifact artifact system, man. Like, I love the suffering, man. I just want to get that like one upgrade. So I spent all my resin for that one upgrade, even though technically it would have been a better payoff if I just like invested in talents. This is honestly really just blasphemous. Yeah. I could have spent those resin farming for talent books, farming for weapon materials, because like honestly, low-key, this is really cringe, okay? Yeah, if I were to go back a year ago today, I would have been like, please go farm some talent materials, please go farm some weapon materials. Those will give you a bigger payoff than just wasting resins and like artifacts, unless the upgrade is really worth it. Oh, another thing. I think when I was like around AR35 or something like that, AR35, AR35 to 40, I was like using the EXP books on way too many characters at once. I just put EXP books into characters that probably I would not play, but I still wanted to like level up, and I was like spreading my resources too thin across a lot of different characters. And all of them are not really properly built. At the time when I want to go back to like build my characters, I have like no resources, because you soon to realize that you get a lot of resources in the beginning of the game. At the end game, you're like struggling for resources. Yeah, that was me. So I would definitely recommend invest in one team at a time. So if you're playing this game and you're like an earlier player, just pick one team and invest in that one team and then just go from there, versus like having 10 different characters and putting EXP books for 10 different characters. Don't do what I did. Do as I say, not as I do. We good? We good. I was gonna be like, yeah, I think that's it. Like, that's really all I want to spew today, but I just thought of another one. And I don't know, I think this is just a me problem, right? I think this is definitely a me problem. I have an irrational fear I'm gonna like run out of content in this game, even though there's a lot of content in this game. And so like, because of my irrational fear, I just don't do the content because I have a fear of I have no content to do, which is really counterproductive. This is like my very, very quick list of things that I regret on Genshin Impact. For all the newer players out there, I just want to save some sufferings. Let me know if this helped at all, I guess. And also let me know if some of you can relate to me in terms of struggles. Don't worry, we're struggle buddies. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, if you felt entertained, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a sub. Yeah? And I will see you guys next time. Peace.